State your full name and limit your remarks to 3 minutes. Thank you for your anticipated cooperation.
Thank you.
Hit record. There's another thing like that.
It's our first day.
Please rise for the pledge, please. Got it, Jerry? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And a moment of silence for all those men and women who sacrificed their lives to allow us to serve our country and our town. Thank you.
You know, I want to say something about that because people ask me all the time, why do I do the honor and honor? Yeah, people that watch it at home, they always ask me that. And the reason I do that is because I really do mean that. I mean, if it wasn't for these men and women that sacrificed their lives, right, none of us would be here. So even though it's a 2-second thing we do every meeting, I think it's something that we should continue to always do. So just, you know, I think we really deserve to give them their credit, so, and their family. So anyway, I need a motion to approve the agenda.
I make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, so moved. Motion to approve the minutes from the March 24th, 2025 Town Board meeting.
I'll make the motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, so moved. Authorize payment of bills of $1,401,988.48. And just to give you a breakdown why that's so much, because I know you love to hear this. A lot of this is from the highway, and we got our insurance and water. So construction, Berlin construction was over $220,000. DJ heating was $71,000. Upstate electric's $51,000. GPI engineering is $9,000. So the highway department number out of there for the renovation is $351,586. Our water to Newburgh for our quarterly number, and wonder why our water bills are so high, is $269,418.53. Town property insurance is $224,626.34. And lights at the Youngs Field, which we got half of this paid for by a grant through legislator Corcoran up at the county, is $183,045.05. And we also got almost $21,000 from Marlborough Youth Baseball on that also for a donation. So all that stuff adds up to over $1 million. So without that, we would have a payment of bills of $373,000. So just to give you some kind of breakdown of that. So I need a motion to pay the bills.
I'll make a motion to authorize the payment of bills, total $1,401,988.48.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So move. Anybody have any comments on the agenda? Anybody on the board have any issues or questions for the departments that they sent out all the reports? There's only 2 here that can talk to it, but no. We don't have any presentations. I don't have any old business, but I do have some new business. So Tarpon Towers is our cell tower at the Highway Department building. For a couple years now, they've been sending us emails, and I've been having correspondence with their representative, Nick. They'd like to buy out their lease and extend their lease. So currently they have about 20 years left on their lease. They pay approximately $18,900 a year as of right now. That could increase over the year. Well, it will increase 2% every year, but it could increase further if they add people to that tower by about $1,000 to $1,500, depending on who they add. They want to make their lease a 50-year lease, and in turn void out the other lease that they currently have, and they would pay us $400,000 in advance. So I told them, at least you're getting in the ballpark where I could actually go and talk to the board now on this. So that $400,000 is almost It's probably about 25, 30,000, if I remember off the top of my head, above what the remaining payments would be for the next 20 years. So it's a little more than that, but then again, now this would be a 50-year lease on the property, and we would get no more revenue yearly, which means next year's budget, we would be $18,900 in the negative to start, that we'd have to make up. So I'm just asking for guidance on this. I mean, it doesn't matter either way to me, but
So-
I'm just asking you for...
So if the $400,000 is for a lump sum,
It's a lump sum buyout to terminate the current lease.
so it's $400,000 plus the $20,000?
No. It's $400,000, but that terminates the current lease.
Right.
Creates a new lease, and that's for 50 years. Now, the only
And
reason
and how much of that per year?
Nothing. That's
Nothing.
it. It's a
That's
one-time
it.
payment.
Okay.
So,
So they're getting 30 years for an extra $25,000?
correct. That's my point. That's my point.
No deal.
So,
Yeah.
the only reason I was thinking about it is in 20, 30 years from now, our cell tower is going to be obsolete. Are they even going to be around? Is it going to be all satellites? So do we, we take that gamble and take the money up front? It's-
That's a gamble.
So that's a gamble.
Yeah, but I don't think we should gamble. I think we should look into it further and also put in a contract that if in 20 years, say, cell tower is obsolete, that doesn't mean for no money they can demolish it and put up something new. It would have to be renegotiated.
No,
For the life of this cell tower,
Yeah,
maybe.
it's only on this cell tower, yeah.
Is it, or?
Yeah. They
Because-
can't just knock it. Plus, they wouldn't knock that. You know how much cement's in that ground there? There's more cement in that
Well, I'm
ground
not
than
saying
you
they
could
would
ever imagine.
knock down the footing, but they may knock down the structure
Well-
itself and rebuild.
Again, I don't care either way. I just want to get your guys' opinion. Now, there is another option. The other option is they could give us a lump sum money up front, say of 100,000, and reduce their payment every month, but it still becomes a 50-year lease. Okay?
A
So-
50-year lease with a reduced payment for 50 years or 20?
No, for the 50 years.
For the 50?
So you could reduce the payment to say, I'm just throwing numbers out there. But say the number could be they're only going to pay us $8,000 a year, but they're going to give us $100,000 up front. Again, I'm not sure if those are the numbers. I'd have to go back on a payment plan if you wanted to explore that option, which could be an option,
How many years they have left in this contract?
like 20 years.
So they got 20 years left.
It's 300.
That's where they come up with the number.
So it'd be 378,000.
Yeah. So they figure we're gonna pay you out just a little more, based on there's like 2% increases through the year, so it's probably about the 400. Again, I'm not 100% sold on, first time I told them I wanted 600,000 for it, so, to maybe do something like this, to get ahead of it, and they balked at that. So, I mean, I could go back and still negotiate
I don't
higher, or I
hate
could
the
go on a
idea.
payment plan, or
Yeah,
I don't do
I mean,
anything.
I don't
If
think
you-
it's a bad
if you-
idea, but I think the 400 is too low.
Okay.
Well, I don't think it's a bad idea because you could take that money and use it for something that we,
Yeah, I mean, I would put it in the building funds,
Right.
or for any other future buildings or anything like that.
but I think we should try and
But I
squeeze them
could
for a
try
little bit
to
more.
get more money out of them. If that's the way you want me to go, I will. That's what I'm asking you.
Yeah,
You want me to go for one big lump sum?
Yeah, I
Or
think
you want me
it's-
to
I
go
think
for a reduced payment, or do you want, like, where would be a number you guys would kind of be comfortable at, I guess is what I'm
Yeah,
getting.
but if you let it ride the lease, right, and for the next 20 years, it's at 18,000.
Well, it's a good revenue source, right? It's close to 20,000 a year.
Yeah, that's, for 20 years, that's
That's what I'm
almost-
saying.
Could I
it
ask-
doesn't matter
More
to me
money.
Either way.
Could I ask a question to somebody in the audience?
Huh?
Can I ask a question to somebody in the audience?
Sure.
Jack, you're familiar with phones and these systems. Why would they want to buy out the lease? What's the benefit?
I think it would attract more tenants
That's what I said.
on the tower.
Remember I was telling you
If they had
upstairs?
50-year lease, the more companies would be willing to invest money,
Right.
equipment if they knew the lease, they're going to get paid back in the lease.
Over time. That's what
So that's what I was
you said.
telling you upstairs. My opinion is, they already probably have people that would rent the space on the tower if they knew it was a longer term, and those leases probably would pay for the $400,000, and they pretty much pay nothing. That's my opinion.
So
I think
that-
you're right.
Well, that's why I wanted to ask Jay, because he's familiar with it, and you did already say that. So I'm thinking there's room here to negotiate up quite a bit.
Yeah.
Because if you're talking an additional 30 years for nothing.
Like I said,
That's exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
I told him I wouldn't do it unless
hopefully we're around to
we got
see
to a
that, but
number
we
that
may
was
not even
comfortable.
be here to see that, so
All right, so then I'll pursue a
try to
higher
negotiate it up.
number, and we can look at that, right?
Yeah, they gotta sweeten up the deal a little
Yeah.
bit more.
Okay.
Thanks, Jay.
600,000, I like that. Did they wanna go for 600,000? Okay.
Well, because I figured when the first time they came, I actually was way higher than that. I was close to nine, because I took the 20,000 and just took it by 50 years, and I averaged it, I made that the number. But of course, they're not going to buy out a 50-year lease for the same number. They might as well just keep it the way it is.
Well, I mean, if you're looking at 18.9 a year over 50 years, you're just shy of 950,000.
Yeah, I told them
It's $1
900,000.
million, so if you could get 600.
That was 2 years ago when they first
If you could get
started.
600 up front, maybe
So
that
then
would be something to
Yeah, that-
entertain.
Well, that's what I mean. The first
What do
time,
you
2
think,
years
sir?
ago, I was like the 900,000. This year, when they came back, I started at the 600,000. And then when he came back at 400, I said, look, at least you're getting close to the bulb. You're moving up in the ladder, because they started at 300,000. I said, this is where I'll actually at least bring it to the board. I wasn't even going to bother you guys if it wasn't anything that made sense. So I hear that you want more, and I agree. So, That's kinda what I wanted to hear.
They gotta
Just wanted to
sweeten the
confirm,
deal a
that's
little
all.
bit more.
all right, so we'll try to move the ladder a little to make it something that we would be willing to do, all right? You got a question, Mickey?
I do, I don't know. So if you're gonna get, say you got 400,000 up front or 500,000 up front, and I understand how that impacts future budgets, is the town allowed to invest that money and then realize interest on the part that you could like prorate it?
You mean the lump sum? You mean you're talking about the lump sum? Yeah, I mean, if we put it somewhere, we could get interest on it. I mean, I don't know how much you'd make in a year on the interest. I haven't figured that out. I mean, my plan was to put it in the building, to rebuild our building fund back up, because the projects we've been doing the last 2 years, we kind of really drained that down quite a bit. So that was kind of where I was thinking where, maybe this is where we could get a big lump of sum of money put back in there for future boards to use. But, of course, we want to get as much as we possibly can out of them. Like I said, the worst they could say is no, and then I'll say, okay, fine. We'll keep the current payment, that's all.
Yeah, in 20 years, you're gonna be making close to $400,000, what they wanna do.
It has to be enticing enough to make it where it's worthwhile to buy it out and give you an additional 30 years, right? So, again, I'm just thinking maybe, like I said, 20, 30 years from now, cell towers are not even going to be useful, so maybe we could get ahead of them. But then again, who knows? So, all right, I don't want to keep prolonging. I'll try to keep negotiating then. So that was basically what that was about. Correspondence. This is Carl. I got a sad one, but this is Carlos. It just cracks me up. How he writes. To whom it may concern, I, Carlos Swigla, resign as the traffic officer for the Town of Marlborough Police in Town of Marlborough. So sorry, Carlos.
It looks like a ransom note.
No, we joke, but, Carl did a heck of a job for us here at the Town of Marlborough. I mean, no matter what we asked of Carlo, he might have not liked it at first, and he might have kicked and screamed while we asked him, but he always showed up. If it was for traffic duty or for concerts in the park or fireworks or whatever it may be, even with Sheila and having her markets on the weekend, and he would always stand out in that middle of 9W and direct traffic. So
Takes a brave soul.
he's one of a kind. And unfortunately, Carl lived here his whole 70 years, and he moved to Carolina this past week. So
He might be back.
yeah, we never know.
He's moved 9 times before.
Yeah. But we seem to lose a lot of people going to Carolina, so it's like a trend here, but this is typical Carl. I'm gonna have to frame this one, I think. So, it's pretty good. So, that's that one. And then we got one, there's some conflicts coming up here. So, dear Mr. Clerk, with your permission, the Marlborough Youth Soccer Club The Marlborough Elementary School students would like to request the use of the lower round pond, Clute Chance Park soccer field. This is fall 2025 recreational soccer program, Saturday in September, October, from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday evenings from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. And then there's a whole slew of specific dates. The problem is the football program. Remember, we allowed already to use the lower field? So there's a whole bunch of conflicts?
Well, we told them that we're waiting to hear back from soccer. So they know that there's issues and they can't utilize, the whole entire time and share soccer. So they're aware of it. So when I went to look at the conflicts, football wants it on Monday and Friday, and soccer doesn't want it on Monday and Friday, so that's okay for those dates. However, they don't want Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So, that's where the issue is. And then in November, they want it on football, and soccer doesn't require it for November. So they're fine for all of November, however, September. October.
September and October, do you guys use the field?
Is the upper part, yeah, just for practices though.
But I mean,
And the-
Youngs,
Yeah.
because they just need it, because they need it for the lights, that's why
Yeah,
they're asking.
yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to say they could use upper fields, but it's kind of like, they use it for fall ball, and then there's no lights there also.
Lights, yeah.
And I was thinking of Youngs, but they have things going on at Youngs still for fall ball. Well, look, I don't think the board has a problem with the soccer club using it, just they'd have to work out the conflicts or change times or something like that.
Is there any chance Gary can get a couple more of those temporary lights? You could put them somewhere else?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where else we could use.
I got a great idea.
Oh, God. Where?
You have that huge open space by the dog park, in the front of the dog park. That would be a very nice,
Yeah, right in the
yeah, that
middle of the
huge open
residence.
spot.
For
You
what?
want the residents to go crazy?
For what
No,
now?
in the front, we're in front of a gazebo. It's a huge, flat, rectangular space.
What do you want to use that for?
I'm just saying you could
Like
put
cheerleader?
temporary lights there and either football or soccer could use that area. It's a nice, flat, rectangular area.
Yeah, but it was designed to be a passive park, so I don't know how that's going to go over.
No, I mean, I agreed, it's a big open area, but that was one of the things they always said, we don't want to have a soccer thing come through here. His
Well-
exact words
That's the
was
only reason why I'm
like,
mentioning it.
because of it's in the residential area.
I was just thinking if football did Monday and Friday, and then, the soccer program did Tuesday and Thursday, then they could alternate on Wednesdays. Then it would be fair to everybody.
I mean, if they could change the time by an hour, I don't know how that would work, because with school and
Yeah,
everything.
that's why they always do those times. It's
But-
always spend that time when they're time.
All right, well, look, I'll make a motion to approve Marlborough Soccer to use the fields based on availability, then working it out with the football league, which we already approved. So, unfortunately, it's first come,
No,
first.
but that's not what we told them, because we had said to you about soccer wanting as well, we're waiting for the date, so we already told them that they had to wait.
Yeah, well, I mean, they'll have to work it out, as long as they can work it out.
Yeah.
But we could reserve all these dates through your office, but they got to work out who's going to have them. That's all. So I'll make a motion that they're allowed to use them. It's just they got to work out the dates and times.
Amongst themselves.
All right? Anybody want to second that?
I'll second that.
Share the seconds it at the dog park.
It's a very nice space.
It is a beautiful space. All in favor?
Yes.
Aye. Aye, all right. Well, you know what? It's a good thing that we're
It's a good
getting a lot of
problem to
people
have,
that
yeah.
want to actually use our facilities, which is a good thing. So that's, it's, I guess, not a bad thing to have, but don't say we need more parks, that's all I got.
No, but if you had, I was just thinking of places that you could put those temporary lights. I mean, you could also use the elementary school
Yeah,
area,
we have lights, I mean, they could do
Because the
things.
issue is the lights, not the space. I think the space exists in plenty of different places.
I mean,
And Gary got such a good deal on the lights.
It depends on, well, they couldn't do soccer, but we could even set them up behind the community center. I don't know, or on the side of the community center.
Yep.
Okay. Anybody got any public comments? Anybody else out there? Good, it's a nice day. Let's get home, enjoy it. So, oh, Mickey, okay, come on up. It was beautiful today.
So nice.
Good evening. I just want to remind everybody that the Arbor Day celebration is on the 26th, and it's being hosted by the Milton Landing Committee and with help from Conservation Advisory Committee. And also Marco will be displaying their apples. That will be the apple parade of the artwork. So everybody mark your calendars, 12 to 2 at the Milton Landing at Sands Avenue Park on the 26th. Thank you.
Thank you, yep. The 26th is going to be a busy day in the town of Marlborough.
Yeah, you're not kidding.
We got Arbor Day, we got the light ceremony at Young's Park, and we got the Milton Firehouse Commissioners Dinner. So a lot of things going on, so that's nice. Let's just hope the weather's like today. That's all. What day is that? Saturday.
And not snowing, not a
And
freak
not
snowstorm?
snowing like we were going to have the opening day this past week. That
Every
was
year
crazy.
it's something, but this was extreme.
All right, let's do Resolution 55. And this is what we, every time we have to do budget amendment, these are just shifting monies from revenue and different accounts. So, does she have that attached here? Yeah.
Yes, it's-
So when we get the police grants, now it becomes revenue. And then we got expenses, it goes, and then those grants are being used for expenses. So from a budgetary, you gotta, basically balance the books. I know you know this, and it's the same thing when we get sales tax revenue, and our ambulance contract obviously went up this year, and da-da-da. Your donation, right, for the park is right there. CHIP money, which goes towards the machinery and repairs and all that stuff. So they both balance out $542,000.
What's the increased sales tax? That's just additional revenue?
Yeah, this is the
Something-
extra money that the county has been sharing with municipalities. We've been getting really good sales tax the last 3 years, really ever since COVID. A lot of people are buying stuff locally, and as they buy stuff locally, and obviously prices have increased on goods, which means we get more revenue. So the county had set a number, and for the life of me, I can't remember the number on the top of my head, but if they go over that number, then they have to share the remaining sales tax with us in Kingston. So, and they've made good on that every year, and we get extra money, so it's good. So, Resolution 55 to approve the 2024 budget amendments. Supervisor Corcoran proposes the following. Be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Marlborough approves the attached 2024 budget amendments as I just had and moves for its adoption.
Yes.
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 Yes, thank you. And believe it or not, Manny, you're up.
Okay, wow, it's 7:29, this has to be the fastest for you. I make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, so moved, everybody. Have a good night.
Hold on.
Oh, wait. What? No, this is last year's budget. Yeah. Yes, it's all right. Thank you. Yeah, we're just finishing up all our audits from last year, so this is when you balance it out. Yep. It went off again? Because of all the security things, right? That was giving me a problem.
Coming from Newburgh, so
Taking the side road like that,
probably doing it like 9W.